Every day, people go missing, disappearing without a trace. How does this happen? In a world full of noise, we're here to go beyond the silence and give a voice to those who can't speak for themselves. Join us as we seek the truth, uncover buried stories, and become the voices for the voiceless. Welcome to Beyond the Silence, where we bring light to the stories of those who have vanished without a trace. And that, my friends, brings us to our story for today. Florida, known for its sun-soaked beaches and vibrant nightlife, endless vacation spots, the perfect place to soak your toes into the sand. But beneath the palm trees and pastel houses, there's a darker side here. One in particular house filled with secrets, deception, and crimes that leave the community shaken. And shaken they will remain to this day. On May 22nd, 2011, Rosemary Rivas Day was last seen at Golden Corral restaurant from Orange Park, Florida. But before we get into her disappearance, I really want to talk about her first. So, let me introduce her. Rosemary Rivas Day. She went by Rose. She was born on October 6th, 1983, and she was 27 years old. So she was Caucasian and Filipino with Asian as well. Sorry, mine went blank. Let's see. She was 5'4", and she weighed about 130 pounds. Okay. She had long, thick brown hair, beautiful brown eyes, and she wore glasses from time to time. Notably, she did have small scars on her arms. Rosemary graduated from Orange Park High School, where she excelled academically. Everything that I've read about her, everyone says she's super smart. I saw some Facebook comments from an old teacher of hers where, she just had so much good things to say. Her father really hyped her up and was, explaining how smart and not even smart. She was brilliant. I don't want to take away, she was brilliant. All right. She participated in sports and she was in chorus. So a woman of many ventures. She pursued journalism studies at both University of Central Florida and the University of North Florida, but she hadn't completed her degree. She was extremely close, though, and that makes this all the more heartbreaking. Described by her family as sweet, quiet, a friendly individual, she had a passion for animals and photography. She was in an abusive relationship. She was reportedly fearful, according to her father and her sister. She also required daily antidepressant medication, which she did not have on her at the time of, her going missing. Potentially causing her, disorientation, etc. And this is her story. At the time of Rosemary's disappearance, it was alleged, I don't even want to say alleged, her father said that they were in an abusive relationship. He was very nasty. The boyfriend, I don't know his name, I couldn't find his name, but the boyfriend was very nasty and abusive to Rosemary, according to the father. So she was last seen May 22nd, 2011. She was last seen with, or known to have been with, her ex-boyfriend at the time. Now, I don't know ex-boyfriend's name, but it was alleged that she was with him. Not even alleged. I don't know why I keep saying that. She was with her ex-boyfriend at Golden Corral eating breakfast. They finished breakfast. Rosemary disappeared. So basically, I took a screen recording of one of the videos that I watched. I wanted to play the audio, but I don't think I can without being copyrighted. So instead of playing the audio, I'm just going to show you the video so you can see it for yourself and like get a visual of what it looks like. And then look at it for yourself if you want to watch the full thing later. But I'm just going to tell you about it. So you watch, and I'm going to read my notes because I took notes. All right. So, the representative you're seeing up here, well, a couple of them are from the Justice Coalition. And Thursday, January 5th, 2012, they announced there was a $5,000 reward for the individual responsible for the disappearance of Rosemary Day. Rosemary, she goes on to say that Rosemary was last seen in May of 2011, so the previous year, in Orange County, Florida. That's where she was last seen. And then, she goes on to say if anybody has information, contact us here. Well, at that point, the man comes up. He's also from the Justice Coalition, but he comes up to speak, right? So he goes on to basically say that she went missing on May 22nd. She was last seen at Golden Corral restaurant in Orange Park, Florida. Unfortunately, he said that foul play was suspected. Let's see, I did skip around. So basically it says that Dad comes in a minute, and he'll basically say that, he assumes that she went to Golden Corral alone. He didn't know that she was even going there. So he doesn't know for why or for who. The sister did chime in, and she says that Rosemary went to Golden Corral with boyfriend. I don't know the boyfriend's name. I literally could not find anything. I couldn't find a picture. I couldn't find nothing on this man. But according to Bonnie is the sister of Rosemary. So according to Bonnie, Rosemary went to Golden Corral with boyfriend, and they had breakfast, and then she disappeared. So Bonnie goes on by saying basically like Rosemary's best friend had created her a Facebook page. It's actually still up. As we speak, you can go find it. It's called Help Find Rosemary Day. But I went on there, and the last post was from 2019, and I saw a comment. I don't know. It is Facebook, but I did see a comment that said that the commenter had known Bonnie, and Bonnie actually, apparently, allegedly, used to help run the Facebook page, and Bonnie passed away, allegedly. I need to go fact check that, but the lady on Facebook said that Bonnie had passed away, and that's why nobody is servicing the page anymore. That's really sad, but at the same time, that's kind of exactly why I wanted to do this channel. I am a big fan of true crime. And not a fan in a sense of like I enjoy that it happens, but a fan in the sense of like it's mesmerizing in not a good way. But it's almost like, how can these people do this? How can these people hurt people and people just vanish, and we never know what happens to them, and it happens so often. I have a cousin in my family that he was murdered, and nobody knows what happened to him. And I know that I'm not alone in that. I know that there are so many people out there that lose loved ones, and we never get the answers that our families deserve. And it's crippling for some. It truly is. So I truly hope that if Bonnie is passed, and that is true, that she rests in peace. I hope that wherever, I don't want to speak that way, so I hope that wherever Rosemary is, I hope that she is safe and taken care of. And if this is a worst case scenario, I surely hope that she's resting too. right, so what you're seeing here is her dad's coming back up, and he's basically going to talk about her personality and the kind of person she was. So he says, Rosemary was very sharp. She had one of the highest grade averages, and in high school, it was when she got depressed. Her dad went on to say that her teachers would say that she would come in on a bad day and she wouldn't do very good, and then she'd come back and have a good day, and she would really amaze them with how smart she was and compassionate. That's how a lot of people described her. He also said that she was extremely empathetic. She loved others, even people that, she didn't really know too much about. And I think that that's really amazing. So I'm a little confused, I'm not gonna lie. Because I watched this one and I watched another one that I'm about to show you in a second. And in this one, he says that they found the car, and it's kind of vague, but in the next interview, he goes on to say that they basically locate her vehicle at 900 in Liberty Street in the early morning hours of Sunday, August 7th, 2011, right? That's like months, because she, remember, disappeared in May. So that's like months after. Anyway, there was some information in the vehicle that has given detectives some leads in the case. So that's what he says. But at one point, he says that they entered the her vehicle data into the NCIC FCIC, whatever that is, vehicle database, and that's how they found her car. But then somebody at the end of the interview asks him how they found the car, and I really don't know why. She just basically says like, hey, I'm not that familiar with the case, how did you find the car again? And he said that somebody calls in and leaves a tip. So call it bad researching on my part, I'll take that blame. But I don't feel like it's terribly clear, so I don't want to sit here and be like, this is what happened, this is how they found the car, when I'm really not sure. But I can tell you that the car sat there for so long that it actually had like cobwebs and stuff in it. And I just can't imagine, like, it sat there for months, which we know that. I mean, it says here that it was reported when, let me see, Liberty Street on the early morning hours of Sunday, August 7th, 2011. She went missing. Let me go back up. I want to get the right date. I know it was the 22nd. Last seen May 22nd, 2011. That's a long time. May, June, July, August. 3 months. Do we count May? We're counting May. So 3 months, her car just sat somewhere, and nobody thought to call it in. Nobody. I mean, she was missing. How did they not? How? Now, I want to take a moment to just share my thoughts on the case. So, I truly believe that, and I don't know if this is okay to say, but this is just my opinions. This is not factual. But I truly believe that the boyfriend needs to be looked into. I truly believe that the investigators should follow that route. There's just something there. My reasons why. Reason one, he was literally the last person to see her. I mean, I think that qualifies him as a very high person of like interest, at least on my scale. It's like up there, because you were the last one to see her, sir. And I mean, that baffles me that he was the last person, and he kind of is a suspect, at least in my mind he is. So why is there not more information out about him? But at the same time, the police officer in the press conference did mention that he's not going to be releasing information at this time. And after they found the car, they found some stuff that would lead them more information. They found more information. And in the second interview, he was very vague. So, like, anytime somebody asked a question, basically every time except for like 2 or 3 questions, um, he ended up answering, but every other question, he was basically like, we can't say anything right now. More information to come." And was like extremely vague about it. So that actually excites me, and that makes me feel like they might actually have something. Maybe, maybe. And I really hope they do, because she deserves answers. Now, my second reason being, you know, it was alleged. Alleged. The sister did mention that they had a rough relationship. He was not nice to her, and at times he was abusive. Now, it didn't say physically abusive, mentally abusive. There are Abuse has such a wide spectrum, and all of it is bad, but it's such a wide spectrum. I don't know what that entailed. Like, was he just screaming at her a lot? Were there hands being thrown? I or placed, whatever that may mean. Um, I don't know what that entails. So, and once again, this is the opinion section, alleged things here, and just opinions and stuff. But so those are my reasons, because I think it's very important that we keep in mind that he was the last person. I mean, he was the last person. And even if they had a good relationships, good people do bad things sometimes, and it makes me curious. There's something in me that just needs to know more about this man, this mystery man. Nonetheless, I digress. I also believe that Rosemary did not disappear willingly. I don't think for a second that, I saw some reports that she was depressed and stuff. Yeah, that's okay. That doesn't mean you're just gonna pick up and leave and just leave your family behind, leave your future career. She was going to school to be a journalist, and her sister said she was almost at the finish line. Why would she just walk away? Pressure maybe? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Um, I don't know. Everything about this case, this mentions, that's a good point too. Her car was found, how long, it sat there for. Who's to say that it wasn't parked there later? Because, you know, nobody found it for literal months, and they were actually looking for her. Previous case, they didn't do search parties, at least not that I could find. But with this case, they had search parties. They had a couple different groups of people come out from different counties, and they looked for her. They searched, and they couldn't even find the car. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I personally think that someone that we may or may not know about did something to her for whatever reason, and then panicked and had to put the car somewhere and put her somewhere, and then panicked again because it was like, man, what do I do with this car? So let me conveniently place it here. That's my opinion. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know what to say about it. I think I've said about all I can say. I tried to stick to facts up until this part. This is just strictly my opinion, but up until this part, I really tried to stick to facts and just show you guys what I saw. Something about it just doesn't sit right with me, and I truly believe that somebody out there knows something about her disappearance. And I truly, truly pray that whoever that may be, it weighs on their conscience so heavy that they can't sleep at night and they end up turning themselves in. Because That's what her family's going through right now. Her family can't rest. They might be sleeping right now, but they're not resting. They're not living an easy life. Her sister even passed away. So her sister went to the grave, and she was so determined in that interview. She was so determined. She swore she was going to bring her sister home, dead or alive. And she went to her grave without knowing answers, without bringing her sister home. That is the most heartbreaking thing I took from this case personally. From everything that I've read and watched, she was incredibly smart, kind, and incredibly empathetic. Her dad described her as someone who was extremely intelligent, though she struggled with depression. She never let it get her down for too long. Her teachers would say that on bad days, she might score zeros, but on good days, she'd come back and ace her work. That tells me she was someone with so much potential. Life wasn't always easy for her, but she always got back up. She always tried. Rosemary loved cats. She loved God, and she loved to read her Bible. She loved the Beatles, especially John Lennon. He was her favorite. Astronomy was one of her passions, and she always had a sharp mind. She was studying to become a journalist. She also was super athletic, and she loved to sing. You know how I mentioned she was going to school to be a journalist? She was almost done. She was almost at that goal of, completing her dream and becoming a journalist. Her father said that she was so intelligent that she could be a lawyer if she wanted to be. But she didn't believe that justice was always served. So she strayed away from that path. For some reason, that just really stuck with me. It really makes me think about how unfair it is that she never got the chance to finish her dreams. She never got to be the journalist she wanted to be. She was someone who deeply cared for others, and it's heartbreaking to know she's been missing for so long without answers. If you take anything from this video, let it be this: Rosemary mattered. She was and she is loved. She deserves justice. Rosemary Rivas Day went missing on May 22nd, 2011. Her car was discovered on August 7th, 2011 at 900 Liberty Street in Duval County, Florida. It had been sitting there for so long, spiderwebs formed inside. Foul play is suspected in her disappearance. Her loved ones are still searching for her. If anyone saw anything, if you saw her car being parked there, if you saw Rosemary that day, if you know anything at all, please come forward. Help this family out. Even the smallest detail could make all the difference in finding Rosemary's truth. Thank you. Bye. Thanks for watching.